I've spoken a lot about the benefits of collaboration and having a fantastic culture, providing training, providing development, coaching, leadership. And all of that is true. But this is a two-way street. Just the same as with rights come responsibilities. Exactly the same thing applies here. One of the things that I've often done in the past is if I'm providing not just general training people need for their work, but development training for them as individuals. If the start time for the day is 8:30, we start the session at 8 o'clock and we finish at 9. Half an hour of your time as a staff member and half an hour of the business's time. That way there's skin in the game. And one thing I'm always really, really strict on as well is people rocking in late. This might sound simple, but those sorts of little disciplines matter. I always take the view that it's a show of respect to the trainer who has probably worked for several hours to get the presentation right, to have somebody rolling in at 5 past or 10 past. So whatever time you set it and work to it. Obviously, some things can come out of the blue and that's okay, but people do deserve respect. It's all about having skin in the game. And the same thing applies. You've probably heard the saying, my office door is always open. And of course it should be. That's what you're there for. You're there to lead, you're there to counsel, you're there to encourage your team to success. But you want people on board that want to be on board. If you want to walk through my office door and say, oh, I'm not really committed, or I'm feeling, really unsure about all of this, certainly sit down with the person and talk to them. Try and work through it. But at the end of the day, if you're not committed and you don't want to be here, I don't want you here either. So the message here is simple. My door is always open, of course, but it's also open for you to walk through it and walk out. Now, I understand particularly at the moment, there are supply chain shortages, there are labour shortages going on, so sometimes these sorts of philosophies don't always work right now. But as a general principle, I think that they do. I always spoke about the train leaving the platform, and the train is the business. The business is going somewhere. It's on a growth trajectory. We're trying to expand the business. We're trying to make this more successful, not just for the owners, not just for the stakeholders, but for everyone, all the staff that are involved. But there's no half measures. If the train is leaving the station, you can't have one foot on the train and one foot on the platform. Because as the train leaves, it ain't going to be pretty. So we want people that are either on the train and with us, or if they choose a different path and don't want to be with us, that's completely fine. And we wish them well. All the very best for the future, but please stay on the platform. Don't be halfway. This is all about having skin in the game and having commitment. We want to have an energized environment, a really positive culture, a really innovative culture of development. We can't have halfway houses. Now, there will always be times, particularly you can have some great employees that perhaps aren't working that well at a particular time, but we know that they can again. They've proven it to you time and time before. That's when we put our arms around them. That's when we help them. That's when our team members also put their arms around them and help them and move them forward. Get them back to where they were. So this isn't such a brutal thing as, oh, okay, you're down today, therefore you're out. It's not that. But we're talking about a medium to long-term commitment here, and we want people that are on board that train.